in the xy plane, the graph of a rational function f has a vertical asymptote at x equals -5. Which of the following could be an expression for f of x? So we need a rational function here where there is an asymptote at x equals -5. So what an asymptote means is that as the graph approaches that x value, the graph has to approach infinities on either side of the asymptote. It will never touch the asymptote, so it'll get as close as possible, which leads it to go to infinity. So what we need is one of these answer choices to be undefined at x equals -5. And we know that a rational function is undefined when the denominator is 0. So we need one of these functions to be undefined or have a denominator that equals 0 when x equals -5. So if we look at answer choice A, see here that we have an x minus 5. If we plug in -5, we don't get 0 in the denominator, so we can rule out A. If you look at B, we see that it has this x plus 5 term. If x is -5, we get a 0 in the denominator. So this could be an answer. Let's look at the others. Here we have x minus 5 and x plus 2. Plugging in -5 would give us real non-zero numbers. So we can rule out answer choice C. And then answer choice D has this x plus 5 term in the denominator. If x is -5, -5 plus 5 is 0. So the answer is either B or D. Now if we look closely at B, we see that in the numerator, we have this x plus 5 term, and we also have one in the denominator. So what happens is we can cancel this out. And that means that the actual rational function is the graph of this. So that means that B doesn't actually have an asymptote at x equals -5 on the graph. So we can actually rule out answer choice B. And if we look at answer choice D again, there's nothing that cancels out with x plus 5. So D has to be the correct answer.